All right, welcome everyone. Welcome. This is Gordon and Yvonne Shit Show. I am going to play the theme song that my friend Larry so graciously wrote for us. And here we go.
Little idea, little demo for Gordon and Yvonne's Shit Show.
I have to cut that part out.
Welcome to Gordon and Yvonne. Yvonne and Gordon and Yvonne Shit Show. Welcome to Yvonne and Gordon's Gordon and Yvonne.
Damn, I usually like to accompany that with a melodica, but what on a day like this, you can't depend on that kind
I
of thing.
know, Gordon. We have to help you.
Oh, maybe. Oh,
I was
no.
going to make an amends to you. Now I don't know if I should.
No, I ate up any amends I had coming to me, I think. My slovenly comportmanship.
That's all right. We're going to work it out because you're awesome. Welcome. I'm just going to say welcome, everyone. This is like the bullshit part you have to do. You know, welcome, everyone. Gordon Yvonne Shit Show. I'm Yvonne Delet. Below is Gordon C. Ramsey. And our special guest today is an astrologer who I've had a reading with, which was Excellente, S.J. Anderson. Welcome.
Thank you. Great to be with you two today. And yeah, let's throw some stuff.
Exactly. Gordon, SJ is a Aries moon in Scorpio. What's your rising again?
Libra.
Libra. Oh, fairness.
Yes.
And Gordon,
comes through strong.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're saying it comes through strong. That Saturn Jupiter conjunction in 1980, the early 1980s. I have that right there in Libra too. The John Lennon assassination conjunctions, and so it's a kind of a wild time in the world. You know, these Saturn Jupiter conjunctions are always pretty wild, but I'm fortunate to get it right there in my first house with my ascendant. So big part of the chart, this fairness stuff, you'll see it when you talk to me. I'm like very interested in defending the other side and this kind of stuff. Just classic stereotype.
Not the bad side though.
I'll go to the bad side. If you take the good side, I'll play devil's advocate.
Really? You would defend Fauci? You would defend
well, that would be tough, but I might defend
defenders of
Fauci. Huh? I would defend those that bought into Fauci, just kind of, you know.
Yes. Well, that I will agree with you.
I mean, I've been doing more of that lately. You have to, I mean, when you're dealing with mass hypnosis,
that's the problem.
Not a lot. I can't really fault people for falling prey to that because I don't know why I didn't.
Exactly.
There's people 10 times smarter than me. They think it's real.
So, well, yeah. So yeah. Soul contracts. Do you think it's a soul? Because why are we awake in that way? And we have been selected, in a sense.
Perhaps. Yeah. What do you think, SJ?
I don't know. I think it could be. I mean, I look at my life and realize that what I grew up around sort of trained me for questioning, and I grabbed onto that model. My education was strange. You know, public schools in Texas in the 80s. I mean, we were reading George Orwell. You know, my English teachers, it was always critical thinking, challenge this. You have an idea, you have to invert it, and you know, so there was. I feel like the education process, to give it some credit, was quite good. I grew up watching Oliver Stone's JFK. That was my big kind of moment. And then I started reading all those books. And how can you go back? I mean, that was what really got me. Yeah.
However, did everyone that went to that school turn out the way you did?
No, but you know, maybe, and I do think it has to do with, like, astrology can help us understand this. When we all have different accentuated energies, and some people are just more inclined to go along to get along, and that's just, it could be a personality thing too.
I think it's partly personality.
There are certain formulas. I think there are different aspects of a person's character that would make them either not want to see things, in which case you're not going to be able to, they won't look, and then also and wanting to get along, and that comes from the whole recipe of their upbringing. But you know, I mean, I'm like, what am I, a quintuple Aquarian? So I like the idea of I have been chosen.
You're welcome.
I like it. But yeah, thanks for that. But I
What I can.
trying to operate with more compassion and understanding without trying. I mean, because there's people I know who, as I've said that, I'm projecting them bouncing back to me that I am patronizing in saying that to them.
Right. But we are lucky because we're not going to have any side effects. Number one, right? So I can have compassion because I can't even imagine, like, day by day, something could really go wrong. And I feel for those people. And the whole thing, that fear, which could be in the chart, people that can be more fearful from the chart, social environment, etc. Fear trumps brains, intelligence.
Yeah, it definitely shuts down. It brings it just
Shut
down.
down. Oh my God, I can't believe you said that. Someone else just said that yesterday, and I wanted to remember that. Thank you.
The other thing I'll just say, we live in a world where there's very sophisticated, propaganda operations just come out with it.
Yeah.
I mean, the media is, there's people studying in laboratories how to control the mass mind. And it's hard. What's the defense against that? I mean, it can be very difficult when you have military, and I don't want to go too at all of this
Yeah,
stuff.
we know. We all know this. The three of us. So the question is, I've heard that it only takes like 10% of the population to change the world. And I also heard, we spoke about this on the show, that that the world always needed people like us because we're the percentage, even though we're small. He's going to yawn. Look, watch. Look, he's yawning. So rude. So rude. Oh,
It's like it's a
just do a big one. Don't pretend. Don't try to hide it.
You can tell when what is it? I just kind of go.
You know why? Because every fucking therapist I go to yawns. So because I talk too much.
Well, I'm my own organic Depakote. And
I know I'm not going to take it in Al-Anon. It's not mine, even if it has my name on it. Thank you. So this guy, this Belgian psychiatrist, wrote this book. We were talking about mass formation. He said in history that there's always there has to be a small percentage of people that prevent complete tyranny. Are you showing your T-shirt?
No, I'm showing this.
Oh.
Okay, he got it. Yeah,
Wait,
okay.
Hold it up again and talk. 1 second. Wait. I'm doing wrong.
I hear his voice when I read it because I've heard him talk so much. He's got this Belgian delivery, It's pretty interesting so far. He starts pretty deep. He goes, he's early history of science and experts and all of these things, and
right.
the kind of the myth of objectivity and all of that.
Yeah, and that's hilarious, by the way. So because it's still a comedy show.
We can always laugh.
So I have a question. Forget the whole world. Oh, well, I do want to ask one thing before we talk about how Gordon and I relate to each other astrologically and how we can make the show super successful, because that's on my agenda.
Success.
Just like make enough money to not have to work a fucking day job. That's because my Social Security isn't enough.
Go to the movies all day, like
whatever. Do the show on time.
Show on time. Yeah. Well, I'm going to list all the things that happened to me. Then you'll come at me with compassion and understanding as the late.
And I know I am a pain in the ass, and I can be pushy and impatient.
All kinds of train wrecks, like maple syrup trucks crashing together.
Really?
But I still owe you a heartfelt apology through my victim complex. Now, where were we?
It's every week, though. Okay. Anyway.
No, I was dead on time last week.
You were. That's right. You're right. And that's why I want to make amends, because not only was he on time last week, we have a guest. I know. This is what I always do. Not only were you on time last week, but your wife had that thing happen, and you showed up. I applaud that.
By a random stranger. The cops called her today and said, "Yeah, we think we got him." She went down to the precinct. Isn't that great?
Wow. So then what happens?
Well, now he gets the help he needs.
Of course, because he's African American.
Well, I mean, I realize that anybody who's going to hit a stranger on the street was probably hit a bunch himself. So while I might want to pound him into the pavement, I don't know what it is. Some voice in me says, Gordon, will this really help? Besides,
He needs a hug. He needs a lot of
help.
hugs.
He needs 70 hugs. That's his prescription in solitary confinement.
Right. By a big guy.
Right. The big guy comes in every 3 hours.
Right. But he's not only going to hug him.
He's going to hug him and squeeze him and love him and hold him. All
And
right,
turn him
forget
around
about
and fuck him. And
Where
turn him
were we?
around and bend him up.
Now, Yvonne, this is not helping him.
I know, but that's the reality. But I know that's
Exactly
what
right.
you're
The
describing.
perpetuation of the suffering machine.
SJ, what do you think should happen to him? Libra rising.
I was just about to say I would want to learn more details about the case before I even was going to comment. I would want to start asking questions and maybe seeing a police report. Was it a very severe thing, like a just a
Out of nowhere.
egregious,
I mean, the cops
severe?
are like, let me ask you, man, were you being very annoying at the time when
No.
when the assailant struck you in the head? No, she was at the farmer's market and he came from her blind side and he just bopped her in the head really hard with the heel of his hand, knocked her down to the street, and she hit her head on the street. And she started yelling, "That guy assaulted me," and everyone kind of looked up and looked around, and she followed him, because she's a New York broad, and she's like, "You can't just
I
get
like
away pushing women down, buddy." And he was filming her at this point, and he looked spooked, and he said, "That white bitch is still following me," and
wow.
told some cops about it. He kind of skedaddled down 19th Street, and so then, she took pictures of him, so they managed to identify him. And so we'll see what happens.
So was it just a random attack? Like they'd never even met
random
and he
attack.
just came up and randomly attacked her? Yeah. So that's like a sociopathic, kind of just person that probably would need to be removed from the community, at least for some length of time to figure that out. Or it sounds like it's one of, like, if you just go back to these spiritual questions, why are people like us maybe seeing through things? Why do people have sociopathic, is it demonic possession or something? I mean, something where,
Right.
Yeah.
is there even a solution for someone who would do that? And how old was this guy?
He was probably 30s, and he seemed like he wasn't like a crazy like street maniac. He looked like he came from the gym or something. He had he was well dressed for that. He looked like he just came from a tech job or something, maybe. So
Most likely.
his meds needed tweaking. I know so many people are on meds.
Or you just raped someone. You don't know.
Yeah, he could have just been like,
it wasn't the best rape. I'm angry. I don't feel, I wasn't as satisfied as I thought I would be taking power over a stranger. So I need to punch someone.
Just like Punch a Stranger program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sucks because it could be mental illness too. It could be that,
exactly,
or drug addiction, as we know, we're familiar with. Right?
Yeah, God knows. I mean, I should have been removed from society back in the day. But
you're more of a lover than a fighter.
No, it's true. I never hit anybody.
Yeah.
Except myself.
There you go. Right. Self-abuse. I was talking about mental self-abuse in a meeting yesterday.
Oh, really?
You're welcome. I don't know.
That's a good one. No, it's
8-step.
Really...
8-step. 8-step meeting. This is what I said, which I'm going to put I'm playing around with the camera because I have control. So it's weird. Okay. Anyway, so 8-step, and when after you get a bunch of time, you realize different, it's leveling up, different things you realize, and that's enough. Actually, it's showing you, Gordon. But
SJ, are you in the rooms? If I may,
you can ask. Yeah, I've been in the rooms for a long time.
We have a trifecta. Trifecta. The rooms, awakened, and I had another thing.
Let's compare war stories.
Astrology.
Yeah. Wait. So let me tell you my philosophy on the 8th step, and then we can do that. Yeah. We may have to come back because we only have 40 minutes because this is free Zoom. Is that okay? Okay. Yeah. Gordon can't say yes because it's a commitment for an Aquarius.
No, I'll do it, but I want hot dogs.
Okay, can we get some hot dogs? That would be cool, right? So the 8th step, so you make the list, you become willing, right? But in let's say old school or newcomerish, it's all about, I'm sorry for what I did. I stole pens at my job. I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. I'm sorry I cheated on you. But then as you get,
I did it. And don't worry about that.
no, I want you to do it more, like bigger.
All right, maybe I should have some kind of yawn concealer.
No, see that it's a trigger for me. You're just yawning because you're tired, but I take it personally.
No, it's not even that. I don't know what it is. It's like my niece barks. She's got Tourette's. I've got a yawn.
Oh, okay. Oh, see what happens. I'm learning how to better communicate, because in the past I would just let it slide and then I get a big resentment and act out, in anger and lose all my friends. So getting better. So with the 8th, he's a good listener. With an 8th step, you have to go back to 6 and 7, because you're getting ready to make amends for your behavior, right? So just saying sorry isn't enough. You also have to, the process is you're going to become aware of the behavior that caused you to have to make an amends, so that possibly you can catch it if when it comes up again.
And isn't a 10th step that also?
Yes.
Like a daily version of it?
It is, exactly.
I abandoned my 10th step.
Well, that's there when you need it. What do you mean you abandoned?
No, he said, I had this sponsor and we got up to step 10 and he said, well, Gordon, here's what we're going to do, right? I want you to write your 10th step and just send it to me. And that was 7 years ago.
That doesn't even make sense, though. That's not the point of the 10th step. 10th step is a daily thing whenever something comes up.
I just can't pay attention to things like that.
But he was wrong.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
I've never heard anyone talk about it like that.
SJ?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a when they arise, something like this. It's like, are you going to go to the tool set? If there's problems, do you go to the tool set? I mean, I don't know so much about there is the thing in the big book about upon awakening. And there's sometimes people can get very regimented. I feel like it's like the Jesuit thing where you talk about self-flagellation, where you're just kind of beating yourself every morning with the spikes. But I'm quite loose with it all. I mean, I just think when problems come up, what do you do? And do you try to bring it into a spiritual model, take it to God, or is it? And I'm a believer personally. I have daily routines that I try to connect to my higher power regularly. But it's not as much the detailed kind of lists of what did I do today kind of stuff. It doesn't work for me as much. I like to meditate and pray regularly every day if I can. And
that's beginners. In the beginning, we didn't know what the fuck we were desperate, didn't know what the fuck we were doing. I would do whatever you told me. I was so emotionally, spiritually bankrupt. Whatever I would do, if you told me to do a list, I would do anything. And then you get a little sober. Hopefully some therapy, comes in there, whatever you need. Everyone's different, whatever you need. And then it's a loose garment.
Loose garment. I want to open up an AA clothing store called Loose Garments.
I love it. I'm running out of time. Sorry I'm not upgrading. No. Okay. We have 9 minutes.
Really? Oh, wait.
Yeah. And then we could come back one more time if that's okay. Because that would be nice, I think.
Isn't it 2:30 right now? Oh, I see.
Yes.
40-minute segments, of course.
Yeah, 40 minutes. Yeah. That's how they get you.
That's right.
It's funny, just to say on that idea of loose garment. I remember it was a big thing in meetings, back when I first started coming to AA, all the way back in the last millennia. Was my first meeting back in 99. And but it was a big phrase. I heard people say, wear life like a loose garment as just a model for life. And I use that a lot in my astrological practice today when I talk about eclipses and how there's these 2 seasons every year. Things can really go crazy, and it's good to have that attitude. And so I think it relates to astrology in a certain way and how it informs my astrology. All that stuff I had done in the 12 steps.
Yeah.
You develop a spiritual model, a spiritual way of life, spiritual living. And, we're lucky in that sense, very, very lucky to have trained in that basically. And other people get access to it in their own way, but there's
Right.
there's real overlap. Tools for living is somewhere it says that you
I
need
mean,
that.
oh my God. If I didn't know I had some kind of loving higher power, because I can have so much anxiety. If I thought it was all up to me, I would flip the fuck out. Like, I turn things over, and I don't know, I would love to hear, perhaps instead of war stories, or maybe adjacent to, we could do both. I've had so many times in my recovery where I've been saved from myself, where I thought, like, this is, I had inherited money and I didn't do the best with it. And then I got a job, I got a call out of nowhere, and I had a job. Yes, Theo.
Wow, she is really good at spotting.
I'm a Pisces, intuitive. I can't help myself. If I spot it, I got it. Where I got a call out of nowhere for a job I didn't want, that I was at for 16 years, that saved my life. Out of nowhere.
Yep.
No job prospects.
Yep.
Well, so do you have to remind yourself every day that it's not all up to you, that you're not.
Yeah, we forget, right? I forget.
Right. Like today I did some bottoming out where I'm like, and I've been good lately, but today so many things went wrong that it kind of avalanched. I gave in to this. Oh, you are, just like the old default voices of, you got yourself into this by being, a moron or whatever. And like I made reservations for this Airbnb on Verbo out in Cape Cod next week. It felt a little weird. There's like too much contact with texting from the owner, the owner of the property, and I had to send them a damage deposit, like Cash App it to them. And then I got this email saying from Verbo saying, dear customer, we're sorry, but the thing you reserved looks like it may be fraud. And I was like, fuck. And I looked, and there was the owner saying, if you just got an email, don't worry about a thing. It's just a routine thing that happens sometimes. Everything's cool. Don't worry. And I looked, and the emails, Verbo said, everything's cool. That's right. But it's still, it was too good to be true. It's $135 a night with like a pool and tennis courts in Cape Cod. But we'll see what happens. But then traffic and other things going wrong, and just being in New York. Like, where are you, SJ? Where do you live?
I live in Albania, but I lived in New York for a year.
Wow. Yeah. You're not in Albania.
I'm in Albania now. Yeah.
Oh, you are?
I've been here for 2 years. Yeah. It's really great.
There's a guy named Beck, B-E-K. I've met him at this kava place, and he has an Instagram. He's a Beck lover is his thing. He's an interesting guy.
I thought you were kidding. Weren't you in Colorado? Or
No, I've never been in Colorado. No, I've been here for 2 years. I haven't been in America since 2019. I didn't experience any of the American version of what happened.
Oh,
and I was only there for 3 weeks in 2019. The last time I lived there for any stretch was in 2018. And I got out of America. Yeah, I left America.
They opted out of the whole COVID thing, Albania, didn't they?
They opted out. That's how I ended up here. I mean, it was not on my radar at all. And it's a kind of a long story, but the short of it is that I was just kind of following anybody that would let me in at a certain point. And eventually in Europe, it was Albania and Macedonia, North Macedonia, their neighbors. They were the only two countries that had no questions asked, no restrictions at all. So I spent time in both. And once I got here, I loved it. I mean, it's a great place. It's built into their culture. It's what Bill Hicks said, the rules he lives by. Rule number one, I don't trust anything the government says. That's built into the culture here. No one trusts the government.
Really?
Yeah.
Gordon, are we all moving to Albania?
We are going to move to Albania, and we're going to go to Moldavia.
Wow, cool.
I know a guy from Bulgaria. Are they doing anything? Are they?
I think that was a low uptake. The problem with Bulgaria is the EU. So there's in this region, it's either you join the EU or you haven't. If you've joined the EU, it's a lot harder to embrace freedom as a way of operation. And Bulgaria is an EU member. So I don't.
I know why they named it the EU, because it's ew.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's a
Wow.
comedy show.
So Albania has good bullshit detectors built right in.
Built right
It's
in. No
amazing.
one, you can buy anything here. You can get a degree, you can buy a driver's license, you can buy anything. And no one bats an eyelash. It's just how it is.
And how do you make a living? How do you work
I'm an astrologer. Yeah. I'm a
as an
full-time
astrologer?
consulting astrologer. Yeah.
Wow,
I see clients all week and yeah.
that's
Wow.
amazing.
A lot of gypsies over there.
Yeah, the Romani people, many here are on the streets, full of beggars basically. Yeah, and they're that's their job, and they just go out every day, teams of beggars, and hit you up. Yeah, many are here.
And don't they do a lot of astrology? They don't think that you're cutting into their action, do they?
No, they're not. That's I think more of a stereotype. They're not very together, let's say, in a formal sense. I mean, they're just walking around, literally asking everybody they see for
Oh.
money. That's their business.
Mhm.
I don't even know if they're online. There are a lot of them.
I am so amazed and impressed. So I Gordon,
Yeah.
are there a lot of single men there?
There's
Yeah, there are.
probably
Yeah.
nice hairy backs.
You know what? If they're unvaxxed, I don't give a shit. That's they just can't have it can't be jet. At this point, I'm lucky if they have hair in there on top of I mean, God, I love all, you know what I'm saying.
John Belushi, huh?
The Belushi brothers.
Oh
Yeah,
my,
they're
I can't even
famous
believe it.
Albanians.
So what brought you to Albania? What made you?
Yeah, it was wide open. I was looking for a place to live, and I had a choice when COVID hit: go back to the States or try to not figure it out here. And I went to wherever they would have me in terms of no restrictions. And once I got here, I was like, dang, this is awesome. I'm just going to stay. And they let Americans have 1 year on no questions asked. You just show your passport and you can stay here for a year. It's unique amongst nations. Most are 90 days and you have to go. So I got here and I can stay here for a year. It's great value, and
Cheap, right?
yeah, really cheap, and no one even, to give you an example, they had rules here of masks indoors, but all you had to do was I could chin strap it. And as soon as you got in the mall, you could everyone just took it off immediately. No one, and I mean, it was like a joke. No one cared. Whereas Macedonia, you had to have it on in the street. Literally, they would stop you outside. That's how, to show you the different rules of different places. And so here was just, yeah, hell yeah. I mean, I didn't have to breathe through that mask. I had a cotton mask at this point. I learned that the cotton is going to be better than the plastic microparticulate medical masks.
You mean
But
just for breathing?
just
The
for
graphene
breathing.
oxide.
Yeah.
All of that. So I mean, here but even then I could just chin strap and no one even, I mean, so it's that kind of thing here where no one, literally everybody knew that this was a joke and no one enforced any of it, even though there were official rules.
And they
I was
paid a
sad because
terrible cost. It didn't half the population was instantly killed.